Hello, great people. As speculated, Nigerian Senate has wheeled the big stick on Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. You will recall that Senator Natasha accused the Senate President Godswill Akpabio of sexual harassment. Now, the Senate has decided to suspend her for 6 months. In a moment, I'll leave you to watch the video of how she was suspended, and also you will watch Senator Natasha Akpoti's reaction to the suspension. Then, when we come back, we'll be looking at the dynamics that shape the suspension. Can it stand the test of time? What is the behind the scene that eventually led to a suspension, and what is the general conduct of the Nigerian Senate and the implication of this for Nigeria's democracy? We'll be dissecting this and a whole lot more on this episode with your show plug, Dr. Omosholadeji. Please, if you are here to subscribe, do well to subscribe to this channel. Let's go and watch the video of the suspension. Then we come back for some great discussion. Let's watch it.
A chance to speak. Dear Senate President, may I be given a chance to speak?
Prayer one. Yes. That the Senate do suspend Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan for 6 months for a total violation of the Senate Standing Rules 2023 as amended, for bringing the presiding officer and the entire Nigerian Senate in general to public opprobrium. Those in support of prayer one say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. I'd put the question. Those in support of prayer one say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
This injustice will not be sustained. The pursuit for justice.
There you have it. You just watch what transpired at the floor of the Nigerian Senate. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan stands suspended for 6 months. First, I can tell you something that I speculated in my earlier analysis that Akpabio would be vindicated by the Senate because the Senate didn't show any kind of action towards thorough investigation, and the Senate already arrived at a conclusion in a suspension. Now, let us break this down. Let us look at the timing. Let us analyze the timing. You conducted an investigation a day before into the conduct of the senator. You called witnesses that particular day, and the next day, you have already written your report. You have already submitted your conclusion and recommendation. Let us look at how practical it is. You did your investigation after the Senate proceeding. When you did your investigation after the Senate proceeding, you called witnesses in the course of that investigation. And when the witnesses gave their testimony, well, plus or minus, it would have been evening. And the Senate met the next morning. What time did you have to write your report? What time did you have to cross-examine? And why is Senator Natasha Akpoti not given a second chance when she didn't appear? Why didn't the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria approach the court that, okay, you are interfering in our proceeding by telling us to stay further action on the investigation of Senator Natasha Akpoti's conduct? Why not do that? Then after you vacate the order, then you now order Senator Natasha Akpoti to appear before the investigative panel again. What happens to the principle of fair hearing? That wasn't done. And as you saw in the video, Senator Natasha Akpoti was begging for time that Mr. Senate President, can I please say something? That video, if it's tendered in court, may end up indicting the Nigerian Senate, because I foresee a situation whereby the court may order a reinstatement, in the sense that if she can prove that she wasn't granted fair hearing, and don't forget that she was acting in the wisdom of the court in the first instance by not appearing before the Senate. So it is an order of court that made her not to appear before the Senate investigative panel. So now, if she now tenders the video of when she was trying to prove her case or trying to make a submission before her suspension was announced and the Senate President did not allow her, then the court can overrule that suspension and render it null and void. The Senate may eventually not let her resume until that 6 months, and that will lead to a kind of like a breakdown of law and order in that instance, because the Senate should be a law-abiding institution. But one thing is important in all of this, which is that the Senate President is now working free but not working clean. I will explain that to you. The Senate President is working free but not working clean, in the sense that the Senate has vindicated him that, oh, okay, they've thrown out Natasha's petition. They've also told the senator that your conduct in the Senate was unruly, so they've suspended that. So now Senator Akpabio, the Senate President, is feeling like a superstar. He has have his way. His desire has held sway. But then he's not working clean. The reason why he's not working clean is that perception matters, image matters, public outlook matters. This is somebody that has a presidential ambition, and presidential ambition don't die quick. So if you have a presidential ambition and you are being accused of sexual harassment, you are being accused of abuse of office, and you cannot even go through the process of the Senate to vindicate yourself, then there is a problem. Because on a good instance, let us reimagine it, in the sense that the presiding officer was the one presiding. The Senate President was presiding. Why didn't the Senate Committee on Ethics invite the Senate President to that investigative panel to get his own testimony as regards what happened? So is the Senate President bigger than the Senate Committee? Is it too big to appear before the Senate Committee? So a lot of kind of like lacuna, a lot of gap in what happened. And the aspect of fair hearing is of importance in this case. And also, Akpabio is working free, but it's not working clean at all. And why the rush to present a report just within 12 hours? The report is ready. What time did you have to write the report? Because in that report, you have to indicate the testimony of each person that appeared before you. Then you now have to do like a triangulation or an analysis of it for you to bring out the facts. Then those facts, you need to back it up with some sections of the law and the rule book of the Nigerian Senate. How were you able to do that within a space of 10, 12 hours or thereabout? How were you able to achieve all that? So that points to the signal that the Senate seems to be acting to a premeditated end. Because to me, even as an academic, I think the way the report was hurriedly rushed, hurriedly presented, speaks to a predetermined. And one thing that is quite of like a bit disappointing is that they said it on the floor of the Senate that Senator Ereti Kingibe was part of those who signed the report. So where is the aspect of women protecting women? They will say, oh, men, they cheat women. Men, no, they tolerant of women. Now, sadly, it is a woman that is signing the report, appending her signature to the suspension of a fellow senator. And I think there's a judicial authority on that. I think it was in Dume versus the National Assembly at that time that you cannot suspend somebody from representing his or her constituency. So I stand to be corrected on that. But I know that there is a judicial authority on that, but I don't know whether it is the Indume case. I stand to be corrected on it, but I'm sure that there is a judicial authority. So apparently, this will not stand, and Senator Natasha has given a signal that this will not stand. So apparently, she would be going to court. But let us look at something that comes to mind, something that we must not fail to look at, which is that you do know that Judgment Day will be very interesting. In the sense that I just imagine that, assuming but not conceding, what if the Senate President Godswill Akpabio truly made sexual advances at Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan? What will now happen? So that means that you made the advances, and at the end of the day, you have your way. You see, Judgment Day will be very interesting. I don't want to miss Judgment Day for any reason. Where I will go to depends on God. But I know that if they are comparing my own sin with that of others, I'm surely a candidate of heaven. But you see, in all we do, we should always remember that power is transcendent, and when judicial precedence is laid, then we need to be very careful. And when, of course, when should I call it senatorial precedence is also laid, we need to be very, very careful. But I am absolutely against the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. I think fair hearing wasn't observed, and I think that 6 months is way too much. 6 months is too much. At least, if it's like a month or two, or even 3 months, it is still okay. Although I don't think that she deserves to be suspended. I think the suspension came hurriedly because no proper investigation was done. That's my view. I look forward to your view in the comment section, and I wish the constituent of Senator Natasha Akpoti the best of luck, and I hope they will stand with her in this trying time. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omoshola Deji. Do want to subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos, and of course, I'm about to have pretty testing videos coming your way. Till I see you again, always remember that I love you all sincerely.